Hey, this is Silas. Today I wanted to talk to you about the Geforce GTX Titan and go a little bit over about this card, where you should spend your money, and maybe a little bit deeper into the card than some other people may actually go. So anyway, this is a EVGA NVIDIA Geforce GTX Titan. So it's made by NVIDIA, and basically EVGA offers their standard warranty, which is amazing. You can also get this card through ASUS. So you have basically two different options. You can go through EVGA or you can go through ASUS. And these are the partners that have been specified by NVIDIA to resell this graphics card. So in other words, when you buy one of these cards, EVGA writes a BIOS and can overclock it a little bit for you, but this is a reference design board. So in other words, it looks the same. There is no EVGA branding or anything on there, but EVGA will take care of you as far as warranty-wise. Same thing as if you bought this card from ASUS. So this is a reference model. It's not been overclocked, nothing like that. It has a stock BIOS on it. It does have a higher price point, $1,000. This is based on a Tesla card. So the fact that it came to consumers to play games on is never been done before. So the fact that you get the chance to basically have the card that some people have paid $8,000 for, I think, don't quote me, on the price for the Tesla model of this is pretty impressive. So this is a GK110. I know a lot of people have been wondering when it's coming, if it's ever coming. Well, here it is. But one of the things about this card is, what do you need to do in order to maximize the potential of this graphics card? So the Titan has 6 gigs of RAM. I think it's 2,688 CUDA cores. Let me check. Make sure I'm telling everybody right. Yep, 2,688. Good to know that I know my facts. So this card can be used for folding, CUDA crunching, as well as obviously gaming. With 6 gigs of RAM, that allows you to basically use some of the highest end resolutions. So some people will tell you, oh yeah, Titan's got 6 gigs RAM, you can use a big monitor. That's not always the right term. Because when they say big monitor, you think 60 inches. But what they're meaning is high resolution, meaning that you can have a 4K display, if you're lucky enough to afford like $25,000 TV. But you basically can use like 1440p monitors, 1600p monitors. So video RAM stores the textures, and the larger your resolution, the more texture space it needs. So if you're playing Skyrim with 2 and 4K textures on the giant screen, then yeah, you could definitely use this graphics card. If you're running a surround setup, I have 3 1440p Cat Leap monitors. It allows you to put them all together and basically be able to use them all simultaneously and at maximum graphics performance. So you could get 2 or 3 of these and there's nothing that would stand against these. You can even get up to 4 if you'd really like. Now obviously SLI degradation of use goes. So for instance, if you have 1 card, maximum. 2 cards, close to maximum. 3 cards, you have fall off, and 4 cards, you have more fall off. So obviously, you have to look at your price point and performance. But if you obviously want the best performance there is on the market, par none, 4 Titans will blow anything out of the water. And for $4,000, like a small Hyundai, it probably should. So anyway, back to it. So why a Titan and why a 690 or why 680 SLI? So one of the ways I like to explain to people what you need to purchase. So let's say you have 680, you have space, and you have a limited budget of $1,000. All right, you could buy 2 680s or 2 670s and put them in SLI, and you're going to get better performance at 1080p than a Titan, because 1080p doesn't need all that video RAM. So, and you have 2 processors, and you have SLI, so you're doing more with it. If you have a small amount of space in a system, and you're only going to be gaming in 1080p, a 690 might be great for you, because then you can use one, like if you have a mini ITX board, and then you can get 2 chips and use it that way. Now let's say you're using large gaming resolution monitors. In some situations, 2 680s will just get destroyed by one single GTX Titan because of the fact that you're using a high-end display with a high resolution. So obviously knowing what you're going to do and what you're going to play and your average gaming, then you need to know where you need to spend your money. Price per performance, is it a 670, 680, a 690, or a Titan? Only you can tell. Some of the cool things that come with Titan, though, you have now the ability to pixel overclock, which allows you to have, if you ever heard of an overclocking monitor, one I can throw out is a Yamakaze Cat Leap. You can overclock them from 60 Hertz to 120 and above. NVIDIA is still working on it, but they're making it so that you can usually overclock your monitor to get even just incredible performance. 120 Hertz on a display will give you phenomenal smoothness of gameplay. It's a completely different experience that you would have to actually sit in front of it to understand it. It has GPU Boost 2.0, which basically allows this card to be overclocked a little bit better, a little eased voltage regulation, so you can get a little bit more out of this card. Obviously, you have a temperature target now, which allows you to set, when it starts to scale back. And if you have water cooling, you should be able to take a little bit more advantage of it with Titan. With 680, there wasn't a huge advantage other than the quietness factor that you got from having a water block, which I personally enjoy because I can't stand a rip-roaring graphics card sitting next to me, especially, when my girlfriend and I are in the same room and we have two computers sitting right next with, 2 and 3 graphics cards screaming away. It's pretty loud, and it definitely helps to have water. Speaking of quietness, the Titan actually has one of the quietest, if not the quietest, graphics cards for a performance line in the last few years that you can think of. 480 was kind of like a Harrier jet engine, but this one is even more quiet than a 690 and a 680. In fact, you really never even hear the fan kick up if you use it at normal stock settings, which is pretty impressive, all things considered, that they have a 250 watt TDP and it's still able to keep such a quiet load. It's got an 8-pin and a 6-pin connector. You have a lot of room to push it. I think I've seen as high as sometimes 200 megahertz over and 300 megahertz over. It really depends on your chip, but regardless, you're going to see just incredible performance. So once again, why should you buy a Titan graphics card if you're using high resolution? Why should you buy a 690? You got a $1,000 budget. You have a small case, maybe one PCIe connector. That's a 690. If you got space and you have the money, having a 2 or 3 670s or 680s might be great for you. But anyway, Titan is a magnificent piece of engineering, and I am extremely excited to own a couple of these cards. I have to share with Corey, my girlfriend, so I only get 2. I know some of you are going to flame me for that one. But anyway, give me a thumbs up if you like this video, subscribe if you want to get more, and check me out on Twitter, and you can also follow me on Facebook. Once again, any questions, put them down below. Thanks to all you guys out there who comment and help me respond to people who have questions. I try to do my best, but I'm pretty busy. I'm sorry. But I'm trying to get more of these videos out, so check them out. Thanks.